uh, 75 years of existence. And just imagine thousands of students who have passed out from this great institute. They are across the globe, and this institute have inspired them. So a legacy of 75 years is to be cherished. Each and every one of you should be proud of your great institute. And this initiative by the Commerce Department to have this interaction with the members from the industry is well thought out. And I'm indeed happy that you have invited me to this program and to be part of this historic movement. So friends, this morning I will divide my speech into three parts. I will speak about the founder and the group. Then I will speak out my experience in this business. Then I speak about my role as a parent. I'm also a parent. I play a role of a parent. I have two daughters. And with these three sessions, I will give you 3 takeaways from each session. So hopefully I will give you around 9 takeaways, which I hope will be useful for you all. So coming to the founder, our founder, Sri M.O. John, had a very humble beginning from the rice bazaar of Thrissur. He was a visionary businessman with acumen, and then he went on to set up a rice mill, and from then on there was no looking back. He was also a social reformer. In those days, the labor militancy was at its peak. You could find the total person in industries and traders. So he decided to fight against this malice, and he went on to set up the Vyabari Vyavasaya Gopana Samiti, which at that point of time was a solace to the traders and the business people. So how was business done 60 years ago? You should imagine 60 years ago, there was no mobile, there was no internet, there was no social media. Even the telephone lines, the landline, was most of the time faulty. So just imagine if mobiles were not there, we are all lost. In fact, we are able to interact with each other because of this internet connectivity. And this intrigued me how business was done at that point of time. As you know, Kerala was a consumer state. So food products across India, from Punjab, UP, MP, all used to come to Kerala. And he used to buy huge quantity. It used to come in goods wagon, a rake which consists of around 58 wagons. At peak of his business during the season, around 10 to 15 rakes of goods used to come to him. And then imagine, all this was sent on credit. So how was he able to achieve that? And this is thanks to this 5-letter word called trust. He built a trust across all the stakeholders, whether it be the customers, employees, or suppliers. And what he used to advise us is, trust is not built on a single day. It takes years to build trust. And like how you deposit money in the bank, keep on depositing trust. Because there will be times in your journey where you'll have to withdraw from your trust. Your trust will be questioned. But you should have enough deposit so that you can survive those critical times. So the first takeaway is build strong trust, keep depositing trust over the years. Moving on, the other strength of the founder was he used to travel the untrodden path. Think out of the box. When everyone was just doing trading of rice in the rice bazaar, he went out to set up the rice mill. When everyone was doing rice mill in a traditional method, he went on to bring in the concept of stoneless rice, LCU dryers, mechanical dryers, color sorting machines from Germany. At that point of time, these machines has to be kept in an air-conditioned situation in the factory. When the house did not have air conditioning, So he was willing to always try new things and bring new concepts. And when others concentrated on one variety of rice, he made around 20 varieties of rice. So the second takeaway is travel the untrodden path. For us, every meal was a training session. As children, as we're growing, we will have around, in a meal, we will have around 10, 15 varieties of rice to eat. So he will tell us to taste it, tell us the quality, and it used to be a constant learning exercise. So just doing these training exercise, he also used to put a lot of values in us. So at a young age, you want to really grow your business, make a lot of money. So he used to caution us. So what he used to tell us is, remember, this is the food industry. And in food industry, you are responsible for the health of the society. What a holistic way to look at a business. And this inculcated in us. Thereby, today, whatever products that comes from the Doubler's portfolio, it will be free from artificial colors, flavors, or MSG. And the employees in our factory, before they start their work, they pray for the health of each consumer who's consumed this food. So this is how we have been able to inculcate a holistic view to this business. So today, friends, with the divine blessings from above, we are 4 brothers who are looking after this business. I'm the third. We make around 120 products. We export to around 35 countries. We employ around 2,000 people. And apart from units in Kerala, we have units in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and AP. We make around 50,000 tons of food products a year. And to put in perspective, it is close to around 3,000 large container trucks that you see on the road. So this is something that we do as of today. Now moving on to my experience in this business. I joined in this business in the year 1994 after a stint of working in Tally Solution and studying rice milling at CFTR Mysore. So when I was coming to join this business, a project was already in the pipeline for me. It was a 10 ton per hour, 10 ton per day capacity rice mill. But at young age, you're not happy with that kind of size of a unit. So I said, no, we need to go for a larger plant. Let us look at something like 100 tons per day capacity rice mill. But when my father and brothers was trying to explain to me, look, we do not have that kind of resources to go for such large projects. My little wisdom, I suggested, why don't you go look at an IPO? We can get fund from the public. And though they were against it, but seeing the enthusiasm in me, they decided, okay, go ahead. And the enthusiasm in me went around spending 3 years. And guess what happened? I ended up making a 10 ton per day plant. So what did I learn from this lesson? It is good to dream big. It is good to convert this dream into goals by setting timelines. But to be really successful, you need experience. Only experience will help us to identify the blind spots. So this is my advice to who wants to start new entrepreneurship, get into entrepreneurship. Gain experience, identify the blind spots. But failures are not end of the world. Remember that. Get up, tap your back, and get going as a stronger person. So my takeaway here would be enrich yourself with experience. Now, friends, business happens over networking. In the late 90s, we were exporting only to 2 countries. But today, our products reach to 35 countries. And this happens over networking. You attend trade shows, seminars, meet people. So I'll give you a small experience of mine, the power of being connected. So in 2006, we had gone, as part of CI, we had gone for a trade show in Sri Lanka. A person came to the stall, a small rice miller from Sri Lanka. Since the rice mills there are very primitive, I didn't really pay much attention to him, but somehow I used to keep a connect with him. Once in a year, send a greeting and keep connected. In 2009, the prices of rice in India went up, and the government decided to ban export of rice. And we were in a dilemma because 70% of our exports was rice. So basically, we went around looking around the neighboring countries to see how we could manage or export rice from there. And this Sri Lankan contact came in handy. So we sent our team there, we sent the missionary, we helped them to develop his rice mill, take good quality of rice there, and we were able to export huge quantity across the world, and mutually we benefited. So build network, start building that. And it could be, in your case, for us, it was like CI and other trade bodies. In your case, could be alumnus of the college, the friends, your relatives network, things like that. So that's the power of networking. And the next takeaway would be embrace technology. By the mid 2000, from rice, we started making food products, and the company is growing exponentially. Number of products increased, number of employees increased, number of units increased, and things were getting out of control and it was getting to near chaos. At that point of time, the business was people dependent. It was not run on systems. When an organization is people dependent, what happens is when he takes leave, when he resigns, there's a total collapse. As a result, the number of complaints started increasing. It was then we decided that we need to go for the best systems in the world. And we went in for an ERP software called SAP in the year 2007. We brought in good consultant, did a total re-engineering of our organization, and all the microprocesses were documented, SOPs were made, and once this started stabilizing, a lot of things started falling in line. For example, when a raw material comes from the quality department, a person comes and picks the sample, it is checked by the scientists there. Only if they pass, the truck can get inside to the unloading area, and so on and so forth. So each process is, and when the product goes into process, into every hour, a quality person picks up the sample, sends to the lab for cross-checking. So there is quality check at multi-points. So a lot of things got a lot of efficiency into the system. Now what is happening, new thing that is happening in our factory is we are implementing Internet of Things. So to give a small example, now our boiler, our power boiling tanks, and our dryer, they speak to each other through software. So once a paddy comes, when I give in the parameters of his maybe aging parameters like amylose and gel value, these machines decide how much steam should be given, how much time it should be soaked, and what time it should be dried. So it is moving from person-oriented to the system-oriented. So that is the kind of automation that is happening. Even in the market, in the Salesforce, we have something called Salesforce automation, whereby we keep track of each outlet, which item goes there, which is having challenges like, it's not moving, the efficiency of person. So the point I'm trying to make is to be ahead of the curve, you have to embrace technology. Now coming to the role as a parent, and my 3 takeaways here would be, the first would be the average of 5. Now, life is all about taking decisions. Each day you take many decisions. So how do you take a good decision? When you are at the juncture of taking a decision, there's a lot of thought that comes in. You have to think positively. And then to make your decision more accurate, there should be a lot of knowledge to it. So it is imperative that you move around with people more knowledgeable than you, more driven than you. So when the ecosystem is really forward thinking and driven, you become self-driven. So choose your circle of friends, choose the circle of people who move around to be really good, highly motivated, and that will make a huge difference. Then the second one would be creating an inspiring story for yourself. And this is very, very important. Today, when when people come for a job, yes, we look at their credentials, their degree, but that everyone has got good, degree today. What we look is beyond that. How driven are you beyond that? What is it that you've done for the society at large? So, especially during this pandemic, the first question we ask is like, what have you done during this pandemic? How have you given back to the society when it needed the support of youngsters? So many times you may create your own inspirational stories. I'll give you an example. My daughter, she had stammering when she was very young. But luckily we could identify that and send to a speech therapist. She could come over it to a great extent. We could really encourage her, and to an extent that she could represent the national debate. And realizing that, she went around encouraging students over that she should be training 2 students who have the stammering issues and encourage them to do public speaking. So each of you can think of your area, how you can create an inspiring story. So suppose you feel that, no, I do not have an opportunity to make my own inspiring story, then you make others' inspiring story part of you. How do you do that? There are a lot of inspiring people around you. There are a lot of organizations that does inspiring things. Be part of them, intern with them, and make their story part of your story. So this is very important, have an inspiring story. And the last takeaway would be doing 5 tasks a day towards your goal. Now, however sharp an axe is, it is very difficult to cut a large tree at one shot. But if you make a cut each day, a mighty tree will eventually fall. So towards your goal, identify 5 things. And then each day, do one of each. Now, suppose you want to start some tourism project, okay? Then identify a successful tourism venture. Then gain domain knowledge, identify your place. So similarly, find 5 items to reach a goal and work towards it each day. So in a nutshell, this is of 9 takeaways that I would like to leave with you. Dear students, when you see a dam, maybe like an Idiki dam, you see it filled with water, okay? But for me, I see it as a dam full of energy. And the water from the dam, when channelized through the pipes to the hill below, and when it's made to turn huge turbines, it gives electricity which lights up the world. Now, remember that students in colleges are like that. Students in colleges are a reservoir of energy. Channelize this energy in the right direction. Light up the world, go conquer the world, and make India proud. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think, Shruti, we can moderate the questions. Those who are having questions can unmute, raise those questions.
If anyone have any queries, they can now unmute the mic and ask it to the guest.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, എനിക്കുള്ള ചോദ്യം എന്ന് വെച്ചാല് സാർ ഈ ഫുഡ് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി ചൂസ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഒരു മെയിൻ ഡിസയർ എന്തായിരുന്നു എന്ന് പറയാം?
No, I think while growing up, every day was like a training session for all of us. We are 4 brothers, I mentioned. So every day, so it was inculcated in us. So the founder used to take us to the factories, So everywhere we look around, it is all oriented around food. Yes, I did my engineering and all that, because at that point of time, I felt that to take an organization to larger level, you need a lot of knowledge, not only in the domain that you want, but in other areas. So here, to bring in a lot of engineering to the organization, to bring a lot of systems, my engineering skills did help.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So if I may ask a question.
Yes, please.
I always get fascinated with family business. I worked in a college, a DC School of Management and Technology. I'm sure you would have come across DC
Yes,
books
yes,
and
yes.
DC.
Yes.
And I was always fascinated with Mr. Ravi DC's way of functioning. Because I felt one of the biggest challenges of family business is, if it is a very established one, to take it to the next level, it takes a lot of effort. I believe at times it takes even more effort than setting up a new business. So how challenging was it for you taking up a business which is already well established and then scaling it up to an even greater level, let's say from 2 countries abroad to 35 countries? How was that? How challenging was it? And also, you mentioned about creating trust. So I would like to know how do you build trust over a period of time? Because as you rightly mentioned, at times you get challenged. Trust, it is not going to be forever. You do certain things that creates trust, and then later on a small action of yours as a leader could be pointed off as a very big thing against your trust. So how do you manage it?
Yes, sir. So coming to the first part of the question is on family business. Yes, is a big challenge when you have a towering founder personality. People always compare you and benchmark that as a standard. So as long as the founder is there, it was very easy. We are just under his shadow. But the moment he was no more with us in the year 2000, we were just left open to face the world. That was a challenging phase. It took around, I think, 3-4 years to really, understand that now we have to face the world. There's no one else to, protect that. Now, having said that, in family business, it is a shared journey, shared vision. You cannot run alone. You have to run along. So now we are 4 brothers. The 4 of us have to think together. And as human beings, we have different thought processes, different opinions. We would like to take this organization at different speed. So you have to reach somewhere midway. The biggest challenge in any family organization is between the second and the third generation. It is this point that is like from 4 brothers, it goes to our siblings. At this point of time, what happens is like a lot of mistrust happens, and it is said only less than 10% of the organization survive beyond the third generation. So that is the success factors that is there. So now today there are a lot of techniques to manage that. It is not that easy. So there's a lot of this family business courses have started now. ISB's got one, and it is headed by Mr. Kavil Ramachandran, a person from Trishur. So what they teach there is like to professionalize the organization and have a family constitution written. So last month, we have just finished doing a family constitution, which clearly tells you the role of each individual and how a person can come into the business. They have to be trained 2 years outside the business. So how they will go up the ladder. So all that is well defined. However, it is all understanding between each other and love for each other. So whatever constitution write, there should be some kind of a connectivity between each other. So that is on the family business. With regard to trust, it is how transparent you are, how you do things with integrity, how even though people from the outside have not seen internally how you look at and behave and do things. Now, this is an era of social media, and customers have the right to spread anything. So we also had our own challenges. A lot of mud was thrown at us through social media. However, we have noticed that though a big hike comes, our sales have not, gone down. So that is because the consumer knows who we are. Over the years, we have built that through the product quality, the kind of range of products we introduce, and things like that. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I think it's time for students rather than faculty asking questions. It would be great if you can share your doubts.
So one thing I would like to mention here is I'm the Treasury Management Association president. I've just become the president of that. And we, along with Maker Village, which is a startup ecosystem, we are going to run a campaign for the students for the best startup ideation. So it has got two sessions. One is for already who has got a startup with prototype. So the price there is around 1 lakh. And here, this open, just give an idea is enough. I think the prize money is going to be first prize 25,000, 15, and 10. And whoever wins that, they will be given a 6 months training and space at the Maker Village, startup village. So I will send the link to you so that you share it with your students.
Yeah, I think it's a huge impetus to all the students who are wondering as to how to go about, because initial days the biggest challenge is where do you start and where to go, etc. So that could be a real help for all of us. Thank you. Questions from the student side?
Hi, sir.
Hello.
Sir, my name is Pallavi. My question is to keep up the tradition, were you forced to enter into the business by anyone?
That's a very tough question to answer. I think it was a little emotion was played, maybe by the father, saying that this has got a lot of potential to grow, and then so there was that age when I just finished college, and then all my friends were going abroad because computers have just got into it was just catching up, and all my friends went abroad. At that point of time, yes, a little emotion was put to me, but my thought was to go abroad, get a little more exposure, and then come back. And there was always in me to come back and grow this business. At that point of time, a little emotion was played. Yes.
Okay, sir.
So if anyone is planning to venture into a food business, let me know. I can do a little bit of mentoring, personal mentoring for you all. It'll be nice to see, because what is happening today is like when you say startup, everything that comes in is into that IT field. Very few are coming into the food business. So if you need any help in the food space, we are there to help. In fact, our organization is already helping around 20 units. 20 units, especially pickle units. We have developed them. We have given them it's our raw materials, our quality control, and we buy back the entire product. So some kind of help we could do.
Any other questions?
Sir, good morning.
Yeah, Rupa, carry on.
My name is Rupa. Were you at any point forced into entrepreneurship?
Not forced into entrepreneurship, yes, but as I mentioned before, there was a emotional, way of influencing, I would say, to join. Yes, that was there, but I don't regret it now. Though at that point of time, yes, when I see my friends all around traveling the world, I couldn't do that. But I think over age, you come over it. And my advice to you all would be, go with your passion. There is potential for each area of, there's no particular area that there's only area that will be successful. Just follow your passion and go all out.
Is the
I
third
think
generation also coming into family business, sir?
yes,
Your
yes, yes,
business?
yes. Already one is already joined. That is my eldest brother's son. He was in the US. He's come back. He's joined. My daughter was interning for some time. Now she's gone again for studies. So yeah, one by one, hopefully they will join.
Okay. Have you thought of expanding beyond this food processing into other sectors? Once you grow, there is always a possibility we need to expand into other sectors.
Yes. So I think our thought process has been like there is so much more to be done on the food processing. See, if you look at what we've been doing is we have been trying to preserve our traditional food items. Now, if you look at a lot of our food, people are not moving, or people are moving away from the Kerala traditional food because it is cumbersome. So our journey has been to make convenient. For example, if you look at our palapam, it takes coconut milk and it takes 12 hours to ferment. Today, the product, our easy palapam mix, it is ready within 1 hour without coconut milk. Now, our other traditional product is our idiyappam. Now, idiyappam we make and we dehydrate. So by putting in hot water for 1 minute, our idiyappam is ready. Similarly with payasam mixes. So we are trying to make the work at the kitchen convenient. And if you look at it, we have been trying to target the youth. Our caption says, "Namku cook chedalo," because we believe only by attracting the youth, our traditional food will survive. Today, there's so much of distraction around. You have like KFC, Chinese food, all those foods attacking Kerala food. Our dream is to take Kerala food across the globe. So the point is trying to make is like there's so much to do in this food business that we have not really thought about any other venture. Yes, like we have set up units across other states. We are trying to get into their mainstream and take Kerala food everywhere.
Hey, Dr. Krishnan, can I say something to him?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I first of all, I'm a big fan of your brand. I use a lot of it all the time. But I was just wondering, because I'm not a business person, and I'm a complete teacher and things like that. But then we are all consumers, so we all are interested in new things coming up. But I always wonder, because something that has put people or keep people away from this is starting a new business. Like you come into a family business, right?
Yes.
But what if it is not a family business? Very often starting something new, especially if your family does not have that kind of background, I've seen that kind of fear in many people. So have you thought about that, about people going into businesses which are not established or not related to their family? What would your advice be to people who would like to start something fresh?
Okay. This is a very, very valid question because to start fresh and start from where I started, there's a lot of difference. I had the luxury of a business that is already there. Now, to answer to that question, I'm just recently reading a book on N.C. Panikkar, the founder of Axel. Is from Cherthala. So how from a very basic background, how we went on to set up a huge Axel computers. For a new person to start a venture today is much, much easier than just before, because today you have angel investors, seed fund, startup village, maker village, all of them are there to help and promote youngsters. So one suggestion I would give to the youngsters who would like to start a venture is like, what is it that you want to start? In that domain, work with someone, learn all the mistakes there, then go out and start. And if you hit the right idea, there are enough persons to help you with funding, not only funding, even mentoring. So most of the people come with funding as well as mentoring. So to answer your question, I think the ecosystem today for a startup is much, much better than before.
Okay, sir, thank you for that.
Yeah,
Maybe there are lots of people who probably wish to start new businesses,
yes,
right?
Yes. Very true.
Yeah,
very
and
true.
the question of trust that you were talking about. Maybe it's a little difficult to build trust over new businesses. What would you say about that?
No, yes, trust takes time. I definitely agree with you. But what I've seen is like today, to be in that ecosystem where you need funding, angel funding, and mentoring, you have to be very, very transparent. The moment you're transparent, I think it is a matter of time trust builds up. So when does the trust factor goes down? You're giving a product that is not up to the quality. You're not giving the required services, support system, things like that. Uh, you create an expectation, and then the product doesn't live up to that expectation. So all these are the factors that could, where the trust fails. So in the new system, when you have mentors and angel investors coming in, they put standards for you. They monitor you on a monthly basis. So even though you would like to fail, I think they will push you to be on that level.
Yeah, maybe that will be useful for students who are planning to start something.
Yes.
I think it is that taking that leap is very difficult for many people. Thank you for answering that.
Very true. But let me tell you one thing. What I feel is the youth of today, they're very, very focused. They're so confident.
Yeah,
and
they're much more enterprising than.
They have a larger vision, not only for themselves, for the society and country at large. That is something I think we should appreciate of this youth of today.
That's true.
Mr. Vinod, this is Anil Madhuvancheril.
Hi, Anil. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Dr. Bindu is my wife. Don't give full technique how to start a business. I think she will put me in trouble.
Sir, thank you for joining us. We have not talked to each other, but I know you through Bindu, ma'am. So thank you for
Anil is a blue-eyed boy in the management circle. How he manages the YK Management Association, the kind of program he conducts there. It's really amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So there is a question in the chat box. The machines you talked about technology being incorporated into your business. The machines which you bring into your units, are they specifically customized for your industry, or is it readily available, these kinds of machines?
Yeah. So I think what you've done is like we have modified a lot of machines to suit our needs. Machines are there, like if you look at the food industry, like Bueller is one of the world's best machinery, but they don't make machinery for our Kerala type. So we need to redo those machinery to match our things. So this is done with sitting with them, putting our thought process, guiding them, then so they modify those machines to suit our needs. Now I did mention about this particular instant idiyappam. So we have imported a machine from France for that. So each requirement is done accordingly. Now we do around 12 lakh pies and packets. So we can't do manually. So we have designed a machine for that because you have to do multi-filling. You have to put in cashew nut, then ada, then sugar, multi-product, raisins. So each has got different bulk density. So we sit with the machine manufacturers, do a lot of trial. We do make mistakes. So in this case of this Pisum, what had happened was the sealing was not correct. And there was a little oozing out of sugar and ingredients into the packet. And we don't see it's in the carton. So we have an outer carton and a silver foil inside. And we will attack. So we too have made a lot of mistakes. But then we learn from it and then, correct it.
Any other questions, students? We could take a couple of more questions since we have.
Sir, myself Prashant.
Yes, Prashant.
Actually, for commerce. Sir, perhaps you might be remembering there was once some 10 years ago we had a family business. The name of the shop was Messrs. E. Srinivasapai. Do you remember?
Yes, very much. Oh, he was one of my father's loyal best friend.
Yeah. My grandfather, my grandfather. Yeah. He has passed away. He passed away recently. And one of my uncles is there as a participant here. I just wanted to know whether you remember still.
Yes, very much. So I think I told you there at that point of time, so much of connection was there. In fact, at our age, that's not happening, but that's the kind of network he had. And I really remember, and I've also visited your grandma.
I do remember. I was doing my degree program then.
I
I remember seeing you. My brother was managing during that time, but he had to drift off to some other industry.
Okay,
So
okay.
we had to shun the business there. Okay, sir.
Prashant
So
is a
nice, so
faculty.
nice, so nice, Mr.
Dr.
Prashant.
Prashant is a faculty at our department, sir.
Oh, so nice, so nice.
Okay, sir. Good to see you, sir.
Yes, yes.
So we had also Brahmins group MD
Srinath.
Srinath Vishnu had visited.
Oh, he's my close friend.
Right, and one of us, why I asked you about, have you thought of expanding into some other businesses? Basically, because he has a unique passion of pen.
Yes,
business,
yes.
so he ventured into that. That's why I earlier asked you whether you had any such.
Yes. No, he has been having the passion for a long time. So all of us are connected with this CII. In that platform, we are all connected. So whenever he comes at one, each time he'll be having a different pen. Before he started this making pen by himself. So one is like, I think this. I believe you are planning 75. Persons
Right.
to come this year.
Right, sir.
So all of us will be happy, like if you take few takeaways from this, and when you implement, like you had mentioned, you'll feel so happy that we could really motivate you all. It'll be nice.
Yeah, so we have a couple of plans ahead. After by the end of this program of series of 75, we are trying to bring in entrepreneurs from different sectors, like food sector. We have you as well as Mr. Srinath. So we have from FMCG, we have from the mall. So we also ask for a huge entrepreneurs who are into different sectors. We are hopeful that they will all address our students. So by the end of the whole program, we are looking at some kind of a incubation center wherein we could where we could seek the support of all of you. Maybe a small input into how a student can start off when he is finding some difficulty. If you could give us him or her a little bit of input as to how to overcome that situation, etc. Maybe that could be a life-changing moment for one of our students. So that is the whole purpose. We have started on a very low profile. We are hoping that this will scale up into big things in future.
Great. So recently the industrial minister was there in Thrissur, meet the industrialists. So one of the things we offered industrialists from here in Thrissur was like, we will set up a industrial clinic. Like when a person is sick, he has a doctor to go. So when industry goes sick, what does he do? So few of us will get together, and give them a constant nurturing, to put him on a certain level. Then from there he can take off. Because for an industry to fail, it is just managing it. Maybe he's not buying the right product at the right price. He's having quality issues because he's not using the right machinery, or the right spec is not there. So if we guide them on that, I'm sure after some time they will just be ready to fly. So this is something we have proposed. Let's see how it goes.
So I think we will definitely get back to you once we have the system in place. I think Anil sir also can give us inputs on how to.
Great.
So please do share some of the good resource persons which we could have for the upcoming webinars as well. If you have some good contacts,
I will do
with us as well. Are there any other questions? If there are no other questions, then we can. There is one question in the chat box. Extraordinary. Okay, so the question goes like this: a double brand hose has made a great impact on Indian people. In your opinion, what makes it extraordinary than other brands? So what is unique? I think some kind of a USP is what she's asking.
Exactly. So I think what has made us separate is like, we are the pioneers in bringing out convenient products, like traditional food made into convenient format. As I mentioned before, if you look at our traditional breakfast, like if it is puttu or palappam or idiyappam, all these products, we have made it into convenient form. Even our paisam mixes, like now we have recently launched a product called Satya Paisam. It is made when we prepare with milk, and this product is ready within 15 minutes. So the uniqueness, like if you look at each of a product, it'll be unique by itself. A lot of convenience will be brought into it without going for any artificial kind of coloring or flavoring or anything. So and now recently we have brought out something called a Jaggery powder. Now Jaggery supposed to be healthy sugar, because white sugar is not that healthy. So Jaggery is a better product, and in the powder form. The challenge with Jaggery is like it is hydroscopic. The moment it becomes very sticky. So we have done a special tunnel drying whereby it becomes a free flowing. So every year, so at any point in time, we will have around 30 products on our drawing table under research. Every year, you can expect 4 new products every year and 4 unique products.
Any other questions? There is some network issues. Please let us know through the chat box whether you have any questions. Most students do face some network problems. There's too many people getting out and coming in, etc. That keeps on happening. Can we wind up in that case if there are no other questions? Shruti?
Yes, sir.
Okay, carry on with the rest of it.
Thank you, sir, for spending your valuable time with us. Now, I would like to invite Srikuti G for delivering the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion of 9th talk session of the Meet the Entrepreneur webinar series organized by Department of Commerce as part of Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Sanatana Dharma College. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's session a resounding success. Today, I take this opportunity to express my deepest sense of gratitude to all who made this session a grand success. On behalf of Commerce Department of SD College, I exchange a heartfelt thanks to our resource person, Shri Vinod Manjilas sir, who despite his busy schedule has found time to grace this occasion. I would like to extend our sincere thanks to the management of SD College, the principal and vice principal for their unstinted support. I thank all the heads, faculties, and students of various departments, retired teachers, alumni, as well as the teachers and students from other institutions, and also to the members of our YouTube family for their active participation throughout the event. I also thank our HOD, Dr. Krishnan sir, and all other faculties and students of Commerce Department who worked hard for making this event a resounding success. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Vinod sir, thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. So we'll
kindly share the link which you mentioned about the Management Association program. And
we will definitely do that. Okay. Thank you, Anil.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for obliging us.
Okay.
Thank you, Krishnan.
And sir,